Hey guys, I trust you're doing very well. Welcome back. Quickly, I'll be sharing the video. I'll be telling you differences between a daycare center and a home care in Canada. So if you're moving into Canada, I know a lot of people have told you if you have children that it is difficult to get daycare in Canada, or it is extremely difficult and all that. Yes, it is, and yes, it might not be. It depends on your chances. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on what you're ready to do. So people come into this country in 1 month, they've settled their children into daycare. It can be quite a hassle for some people. For some people, it's that kind of thing. So quickly, let me just share the pros and cons according to what I have seen. So my daughter, she's 2 years old. She currently goes to a daycare, sorry, home care center. So home cares are licensed places. People's houses, just like my house, I can just register to the government, do my essential test and everything, get my license to see that, okay, I am a business owner. I want to open up a business in my house to take care of other people's children. You might include your children, you might have other children. So, like, my daughter goes to a home care center, and a caregiver is like a grandma. She has like older children. In fact, one of our daughters got married quite recently. So, she does not have young children. So, you don't have to have young children. You must like have experience, know how to do CPR and first aid and all those other kind of things. Of course, they will certify you to know that you are good. On the other hand, we all know how daycare centers run, right? Normal daycare. So one thing that is quite difficult, though for some people it's not so difficult actually, is getting a daycare center for your child or for your children, usually toddlers, preschoolers, or even infants. So you come into Canada and they tell you that you have to be on the wait list for like 1 year, 2 years. When I came last year, I joined almost 50 wait lists because I was desperate out of my mind. And I was like, what is going on? Why can't I just walk into somewhere, enroll my child, and we are all good? But it was not that way. It was not as easy as I thought it was going to be. So I joined a lot of wait lists until when my neighbor told me that, why don't you consider home care centers? That is not so bad. Just have like an open mind and make me try it and see whether your child might actually like it. So I did that, and I registered with like two agencies. Where I stay in Ontario, there are two popular ones, We Watch and Today's Family. I registered with both of them, and what they do is that they have a lot of people under them that are registered. That's okay. I am going to be like a home carer. I'll register under this agency. If you have children, please send them my way. So what they do is that when you also register for someone that wants to take your child there, they will send you a list of people that have spaces for children within your child's age group or something. So there's a limit. They might not have like, they can't have like two infants together or two, three infants. No, because infants, you need care and all that for them. So I think there's a age or something like that that they allow per child or per center. I know that for the home care, most times, like when my child goes to, there are no more than like 6 children in the home. So for daycare, you can have a lot more. Even in the class, you can have as much as like 10. They all have their capacities as well, right? So pros for me for daycare is it's a large center. Your child can get to interact with other children. Of course, like pros of daycare, you take your child there. Of course, there are cameras. You feel quite at ease that, okay, my child is being looked out for, looked after, and all that. They feed them very well. Breakfast, lunch. Yeah, I'll just say like two major meals, because I have a friend that she makes sure that she dresses up her baby before 7. She goes to drop off her child, and by 7 they are ready to open their doors to welcoming you. They have breakfast. They have everything lined out. Like there's a plan, and there's like, it's not just cast. It's not just a let's just rough it out or anything. No, there's a process. There's like a template that they follow. So they follow that template, and people like that template. Your child learns how to color, how to sing, how to interact, like does everything really, really well. And people like that aspect about daycares, and I don't blame them, because yes, you know that this child is like organized and everything. You do all those things well. On the other hand, most people feel that children that go to home cares don't get a lot of this done, that maybe they are not as organized, they don't learn enough, they don't know their numbers, they don't know their colors, they don't know all those things. So yes, there might be a little bit of lapses here and there, but to me it was passable. I did not mind. For me, that was not the primary thing I was looking out for. So for me, I didn't even care. Most people were like, take your child away from that place, and I'm like, no, you won't understand. For me, this is what I want for my child at this particular stage. I even got options of taking my children away, sorry, my daughter away, because most times when there's a new school year, like September, early September, there'll be spaces opening up because other children are moving on to like the big schools now, elementary. So there'll be spaces opening up in the daycare centers. I got like, so in fact, like almost 4 calls for all those centers I had joined before on their wait list. And I was like, I politely declined. I was like, she's okay where she is now, and that's it. So for me, what are the pros for me for home care? Maybe it now depends on the home care my daughter also got. Maybe it also depends on the person, because our own carer is wonderful. To be honest, I've not found any. Yes, yeah, I'm coming to the cons. Yes, but in taking care of my child, the like that motherly, and I like the fact that she's also Asian. I could relate with her. Most of their cuisine I know, so I could relate honestly, and I did not mind. There's so many things that she did not want, which I didn't mind, and all that. Yeah, so we were able to like work together, and I like the fact that okay, she understood me. Like okay, she gave that my daughter that kind of like motherly care. She was more patient. In the daycare center, they can't be that patient with my daughter. My daughter can be quite kind of fussy when it's time for her meals and everything. She understood my daughter. Like she would like she's like I would even tell her I'll be giving her to like no, just leave her, that kind of thing. Like she was able to like my daughter became a voracious eater. Like yeah, sorry to use that word, but yes, her eating became better. She eats, but you know when you just can't fathom, you are not just patient. You need to be patient with her to eat. If you just leave the food and say eat your food, she will not eat anything. She'll make a mess of it. And for me, yes, I like to train my daughter how to eat, but for me, eat your at least eat up first for me and all that. Yes, I know that here in this part of the world you have to learn how to eat by yourself and all that, but there are times that the child is just like not doing it. So I like the fact that we being patient. To be honest, that might not be the norm, that might not be the status quo, but for me at that particular time, because I was frustrated out of my mind, I had to deal with each child according to what they were all going through. So I didn't want my daughter's own two to be in the mix. So I was happy that they were able to understand me and they were able to help. So for me, home care gave me that as a big pro. Everything did not matter to me. My own was just like, please just help me take care of my child. And I got that, end of story. That was it for me. Secondly, in daycare centers, the size can be a pro and a con. It's a good thing because your child is interacting with a lot of other children and all that, learning behavioral, social skills. But on the flip side, for me, they get exposed to every and everything. It's not like as if in the home care they don't get exposed, but it's kind of like minimal. It's not like as if your child is exposed to like 30 other children. For home care, they're like max of 6 at a time. So by the time all of them are recycling and sharing cold and flu, at least for me, my head is not as much. So I don't have times that my daughter is completely, most times she still goes, she doesn't get as like as many colds and flus. She's the youngest, but she's the one that's I don't know. I don't even know. Maybe it's now our immunity or something. The older ones always come back home with a cold and a flu because they're in larger places, right? My daughter, before she's like knocked down by a cold or a flu, it takes quite a while, and she gets out of it before her brothers do. But those ones they are coming out of one, they are back to school again, they've caught it again. So it's like an unending process. On the other hand, for her, yes, she has it. I would say this year she's even had a lot more flus and colds than last year. Last year, nothing, almost nothing, non-existent. So for me, yes, I like the fact that maybe there is a little bit more managed. Maybe their numbers are more like it's smaller. So I like that fact that yes, I could manage it that way when it comes to health and all that. For daycares, a big pro is that they're always open. So if the daycare says we're open by 7 to 4 p.m. or 7 to 5 p.m., you'll find them there. You find somebody there. You find the teacher, whoever is there. If they're going on vacation or going on leave, somebody else is taking over, someone else is like, there's a routine, right? On the other hand, for home care, you're OYO. The day maybe the home carer is not feeling fine, there was a day they called me that, oh, this woman has COVID. Ah, we didn't tell you that they have COVID and you said you put your head. Of course not. In fact, when they told me she was okay, I said, Stay at home. Don't go yet. Do you understand? I kind of was like, I didn't even take her immediately because I was like, hope the COVID has completely gone. So if there's a shutdown, there's a shutdown. That kind of thing. That happens in the home care. They can go on vacation. Earlier this year by February, she went on vacation for a whole month, and I was at home alone with my daughter for the whole month. You can imagine how that was. I could only function because of course I work from home. My time is really, really flexible. But you can imagine if I had a normal 9 to 5, and it's not so easy for them to fix your child up in another place. What if there's no availability? What if there's no space or anything like that? So for me, that's a big, 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 big con, because you can't just do things on a whim. I'm still choosing to stay there because my time is flexible, right? So if today they call me to say, oh, we cannot take you, or we cannot take your child in today. Let's say I plan to do video. I won't shall do the video again, no, that kind of thing. Because there was a time like that, she sent me a message that, oh, I'm not feeling too good. I had planned a lot of things and I did not check the way I work sometimes. I didn't check my phone. I had gotten my daughter ready. We had gotten out of the house. I had gotten there. I rang the bell and I was like, what's going on? Everywhere looks quiet. I was like, oh, didn't you get my message? I checked my phone. I was like, I didn't get any message. I did not even know. So you can imagine. But if it's a daycare center, that will never happen, because even if that somebody is not at work or something, some other person is going to be there. They don't work alone. There are a lot of people that work there. So the daycare center is always open. You can always boast of that. So a big con for home cares is that once in a while you might just have like impromptu, I am not going to be available. Some are planned, some are not planned. And that thing is like, okay, maybe times that she has stuff to do, times that her daughter was getting married, they shut the daycare for like a week, they shut the daycare for 2 days. So you can imagine, if probably I had a 9 to 5, I might not be saying this, because nobody wants, like, your brain is not going to comprehend that fact. Like, I am struggling to walk. You can't just tell me that you're not going to be around or available. No, it won't make sense. I don't even know. I've not even asked other parents how they cope, because I know that there are other parents that have regular 9 to 5. So I don't even know how they actually manage it. I've not asked anybody. So everybody just keeps to themselves. But I've not actually asked how they manage it. So I think these are primarily the reasons of what I would say are like the pros and cons of like home care centers, daycare center, and the home care center. For me, it's still sustainable. My daughter is still at that age. I know some people will say that no, she's not learning enough. She should have been doing. For me, doing what? She's a child. This is a child. She's still a baby. She's not even 3 yet. For that age, it's still okay for me. I wanted that. I wanted somebody that could be more patient for my daughter. That's what I wanted. So at the end of the day, you just need to look at yourself, look at your peculiarities, look at your children or your child's peculiarities. What do you want for your child? And all that. I gotten some, like, yeah, not so kind of like good. Yes. So some things I've heard about, some very not disturbing things. Somebody even told me like, oh, a child, that was when she first got to Canada anyway. I don't know if that still happens. And this is someone that works in Toronto, and let's say the daycare center is like an hour away or something. At least they called her that and they were screaming, your son has done something, blah blah blah, and all that. She got there and she was like, what did he do? He was right there in the bathroom. Unfortunately, he had just stopped doing diapers. I think it was like 3 years or something, and it was just in the middle of the bathroom. They did not change him or anything like that. Yeah, because he sold himself. And I was like, wow, just wow. And she said they waited for her to come all the way to come clean the boy. I was like, no, you're not telling me this is not true. She's like, to me, it is actually very true. I'm like, what? So they don't clean or something. I don't know. So maybe he had gotten past the age we're supposed to clean. Maybe they had agreed that when you're past this particular age, we don't clean, we don't change anymore, we don't change your clothes or something. I don't know what really happened. Maybe that's not the norm for them to do. I understand they might not do it here. Coming from Africa, you expect that to be done. But I think here, so these are the kind of things you should have at the back of your mind. And also, yes, so I just thought to share that with you. Please feel free to share contrary opinions. What I see, what I hear, what I experience is what I share. I don't make up these stories, I don't make up anything. I am sharing my life experience. So please feel free to pass any contrary opinion you have. Let me know your experience, please, so that other people can also learn as well. We're all learning. I am very new in Canada. We're all learning as days go by. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to see you in my subsequent videos. And please don't be a stranger. Please follow me on Instagram as well. I share a lot more on Instagram as well as YouTube. So please subscribe on YouTube and please follow on Instagram. I'll see you in my subsequent videos. Bye.